Strength isn't built in the moments you feel powerful. It's built in the moments you feel weak and choose to rise anyway. But I know you're tired, but tired of the expectations, tired of the pressure, .br, tired of fighting battles no one sees. .br, and yet you're still here. BBR, still showing up, still hoping for a version of yourself that feels stronger, clearer, more alive. Let me tell you something from my heart, but there is a stronger you. But you cannot meet that version until you're ready to let the weaker version die. Today, let's talk about how to crush that version forever. Stop negotiating with your weakness. That is the first turning point of every transformation, and it is one of the hardest truths to swallow, because weakness doesn't walk into your life loudly. It doesn't scream, "I'm here to destroy your potential." No, it arrives gently, it arrives with comfort, it arrives with softness, it arrives with a tiny voice that convinces you it's protecting you. That voice tells you to rest a little more, to hide when life feels heavy, to avoid the hard conversation, to choose distractions over discipline. And because that voice feels familiar, we follow it, we believe it, we think it's caring for us. But weakness is not care. Weakness is the quiet prison that keeps your strength chained out. I learned very early that every excuse we make has a consequence, and the consequence is always paid by our future self. Every time you choose the softer road, the easier option, the delayed action, you are making a deal with your own limitations. It feels harmless in the moment, it feels justified. You tell yourself you'll get serious tomorrow, that you'll change when you feel inspired, that you'll try again when life gets a little calmer. But here's the truth, tomorrow is a liar. Inspiration is inconsistent, and life will never magically calm down for your dreams. If you wait for perfect conditions, you will wait your entire life. .br, weakness negotiates. Strength decides, weakness bargains. Strength commits, weakness delays, strength acts. And if you truly want to crush the weaker version of yourself, you have to stop participating in the negotiations your excuses keep trying to open. You have to stop sitting at the table with your fears and your doubts and your procrastination. They will always present arguments that sound logical. They will always convince you that you deserve comfort. But the life you want, the one you secretly imagine, the one you pray for, the one you wish you had the courage to chase, that life will never be built by comfort. It will be built by choices that feel uncomfortable but necessary. There came a moment for me when I realized that weakness survives because we feed it. We feed it our attention, we feed it our fear, we feed it our habits, we feed it every time we choose escape over effort. And once I understood that, I stopped feeding it. I stopped giving my weakness permission to speak louder than my purpose. I stopped letting it debate with me. Instead, I chose clarity, I chose commitment, I chose to do the thing I said I would do even when I didn't feel like doing it, especially when I didn't feel like doing it, because that's where strength is born. In the moments when discipline wins over desire, there is nothing wrong with feeling tired. There is nothing wrong with feeling scared. There is nothing wrong with wanting rest or comfort. You are human. But there's a difference between resting and quitting. There is a difference between taking a breath and giving up the entire fight. Weakness will always push you toward giving up. Strength will always whisper, "Not yet. There's more in you." And you have to learn to follow that whisper even when it feels faint. The version of you that you want to become, the stronger, braver, more disciplined version, is created through daily choices that the weaker version hates. The weak version wants shortcuts. The strong version wants growth. The weak version wants guarantees. The strong version wants opportunity. The weak version wants comfort. The strong version wants purpose. And the moment you stop negotiating with the old habits, the old tendencies, the old excuses, something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to see who you can become. You begin to realize that the limits you believed in were never real. They were rehearsed. They were practiced. They were repeated until they felt like truth. But strength breaks the illusion. Strength shows you that you've always had more inside you than you allowed yourself to believe. So today, speak to that weaker version with honesty. Tell it the negotiation is over. Tell it the excuses are no longer acceptable. Tell it you are choosing the path of growth, even if that path scares you. especially if it scares you, because that fear is the sign you are moving in the right direction. Weakness only wins when you give it your voice. But strength begins the moment you decide, be enough, BR, no more, not today, not again. Bar the negotiation ends here. There was a time in my life when I kept asking for my burdens to disappear. I wanted the challenges to stop. I wanted the pressure to ease. I wanted the journey to feel lighter, smoother, easier to breathe through. And I think every one of us has had that moment when you look at the sky or at the ceiling of your room and you whisper, why me? Why this? Why now? You feel like the weight is too much, like life is unfair, like you're being stretched beyond what any person should be expected to carry. But the truth I learned, the truth that changed everything is this: you don't grow by asking for the load to vanish. You grow by asking for stronger shoulders to carry what life gives you. Because strength is not something you stumble upon. It isn't handed to you wrapped in comfort. Strength is earned through resistance. Your body becomes stronger when you lift heavier weights. Your mind becomes sharper when it faces complex challenges. Your faith becomes deeper when life forces you into the unknown. The same principle applies to your soul. It grows when you face what feels impossible and discover that the impossible was simply training you. I began to realize that every burden in my life was not a punishment but a preparation. Something in me was being shaped, carved, refined through the struggle. I started seeing my challenges differently. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? I started asking, what is this building in me? And that shift changed everything. Because the moment you understand that your challenges carry a purpose, the weight becomes meaningful. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and begin to see yourself as a vessel being strengthened for something bigger. But think about it. Some of the strongest people you know aren't strong because they lived easy lives. They're strong because life demanded strength from them. They had no choice but to grow, no choice but to rise, no choice but to carry their pain with dignity. And somewhere along the way, that pain transformed into power. That burden became the birthplace of their resilience. Every setback I faced taught me something I didn't know I needed. Every disappointment showed me where I was relying on the wrong things. Every heartbreak opened a space in my heart that later became filled with wisdom. The same is true for you. The very thing you think is trying to break you may actually be the thing that is trying to make you unbreakable. Life is not trying to crush you. Life is trying to create you. And I know it's hard to see that when you're in the middle of the storm. When everything feels heavy, the idea of growth sounds poetic, not practical. You're just trying to breathe. You're trying to hold it together. But even in that place, especially in that place, something powerful is happening. Every day you don't give up, you are strengthening your own shoulders. Every day you show up, even when it hurts, you are expanding your capacity. Every day you keep walking, even with the weight on your back, you are proving to yourself that you can carry far more than you believed. And here's the beautiful part. The strength you gain doesn't disappear when the burden lifts. It stays with you. It becomes a part of you. It becomes the foundation that future blessings stand on. A blessing that arrives too early becomes a burden. But a blessing that meets a strong version of you becomes destiny fulfilled. So don't curse the weight. Don't hate the season you're in. Don't wish away the very thing that is preparing you for your purpose. Ask for stronger shoulders, not a lighter load. Ask for courage, not escape. Ask for clarity, not comfort. Because comfort will protect who you are, but challenge will reveal who you're meant to become. There is nothing God places on your path that doesn't carry meaning. Even the moments that feel unbearable are shaping a strength you will one day look back on with gratitude. You are not breaking. You are being built. Bar, you are not falling apart. Bar, you are being formed. Bar, you are not carrying this alone. You are being guided through it. One day you will look back and whisper, this is where my strength was born. I didn't know it then, but I was becoming someone I could trust. There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize something quietly powerful. The future they dream of cannot be lived by the version of themselves they have been until now. And that realization is both terrifying and liberating. Terrifying because growth requires shedding an identity you've carried for years. Liberating because it means you are not stuck, you are still becoming. Your future is not waiting for the old you, it is waiting for the evolved you, the disciplined you, the courageous you, the version of you who finally stops repeating the same patterns and starts rising into a new way of living. The truth is, every dream has a price, not a financial one, a personal one. A dream demands new habits, new standards, new boundaries, new levels of focus. You cannot bring old excuses into a new destiny. You cannot carry old fears into a future built on courage. You cannot drag the weaker version of yourself into a place meant for your strongest self. Life simply doesn't work that way. It requires transformation. I remember learning this the hard way. Realizing that the opportunities I prayed for were not being blocked by other people, or luck, or timing. They were being blocked by the older version of me, the insecure version, the hesitant version, the version that wanted guarantees before taking risks, the version that wanted applause before showing up. That version could not survive the reality of the life I was meant to step into. And the same is true for you. You know deep down that you have outgrown certain habits, you've outgrown certain mindsets, you've outgrown certain environments, you've outgrown certain behaviors you keep repeating even though they no longer feel aligned with who you are. Your spirit knows it. You feel it. You feel the tension between the life you have and the life you want. That tension is not punishment, it's invitation. It's your future calling you forward. It's urging you to evolve, to stretch, to rise. The scary part about evolution is that it doesn't come with a manual. No one tells you how to outgrow your old self. It happens in moments. Quiet moments, painful moments, honest moments. Moments when you realize you can't keep living by old rules. Moments when you decide you're done minimizing your potential. Moments when you finally look at yourself and say, I want more. Not because I'm ungrateful, but because I know I'm capable. PR transformation begins there. It begins with that conversation you have with yourself when no one is watching. It begins the moment you decide to stop repeating the same year of your life over and over again. It begins when you understand that you cannot enter a new season using the strength of an old one. You have to upgrade. You have to rise. You have to choose growth even when it feels uncomfortable. Because here's the truth most people don't want to face. Your future is not created by wishing, it's created by becoming. You don't manifest a new life by hoping, you manifest it by changing the way you show up every single day. You manifest it by acting like the person you want to be long before you feel like that person. You manifest it by stepping into habits that align with your highest self, even when your old self clings to the familiar. The version of you that feels fearful is not wrong, it's just outdated. The version of you that self-sabotages is not evil, it's just unhealed. The version of you that procrastinates is not lazy, it's just overwhelmed. And yet, none of those versions can create the future you desire. They don't have the discipline, they don't have the courage, they don't have the belief. But the upgraded version inside you does. And that version is waiting for you to choose it. You don't have to throw away who you were. Honor that version. It survived things. It endured seasons you didn't know if you would make it through. But surviving and thriving are two different lives, and your future is not built for survival. It is built for expansion. It is built for purpose. It is built for a stronger, wiser, more grounded version of you. So let today be the day you stop trying to take the old you into a new place. Let today be the day you stop shrinking yourself to fit into environments you've outgrown. Let today be the day you stop walking backward into a future that requires you to move forward. You are not here to repeat the past. You are here to rise beyond it. Your future is waiting, not for who you were, but for who you are becoming. People often imagine transformation as a dramatic moment, a breakthrough, a massive shift, a lightning bolt from the universe declaring that today is the day everything changes. But real transformation, the kind that rebuilds you from the inside out, it rarely arrives that way. It happens in small, almost invisible decisions. It happens in quiet choices. It happens in moments no one praises, no one claps for, no one even notices. The world celebrates your breakthroughs, but you build them long before anyone is watching. There is incredible power in the small victories you create every day. Waking up when you said you would, keeping you Our word to yourself. Finishing what you start. Choosing focus over distraction. Choosing effort over ease. Choosing growth over comfort. These choices don't make headlines, but they make character. They build something inside you that cannot be bought, faked, or borrowed from anyone else's self-respect. Because every small victory whispers something to your soul. It tells you you're capable. It tells you you're consistent. You become stronger by doing it again tomorrow. And the day after. And the day after. Not perfectly, consistently, not dramatically, faithfully. Strength is built through repetition, through routine, through the choices no one applauds but your future self will thank you for. Think of your life as a ladder. Each small victory places another rung under your feet. Every day you climb a little higher. You may not notice the difference right away, but eventually you look down and realize you're nowhere near where you used to be. You're standing in a place that the old you could only dream of reaching. And it wasn't because you sprinted, it was because you kept moving step by step even on days when it felt like nothing was changing, but everything was changing. Inside you, around you, for you. So never underestimate the power of one disciplined act, one finished task, one controlled temptation, one kept promise. These are the building blocks of a stronger life. These are the moments that reshape your identity. These are the victories that lead you away from the weaker version of yourself and into the person you were always meant to be. Small choices, quiet decisions, invisible wins. They are not small at all. They are the rise of a new you. There comes a point in your growth when you start to realize that the people around you shape the person within you. Not because they control you, but because energy is contagious. And you feel it. You feel it when someone believes in you. You feel it when someone doubts you. You feel it when someone constantly pulls you back into old patterns. And you feel it when someone challenges you to rise into new ones. The people in your life can either feed the weaker version of you or nourish the stronger version. And the moment you understand that, you start looking at your relationships with new eyes. Some people only know how to relate to the older version of you. The one who hesitated, the one who feared, the one who didn't know their worth. And without even meaning to, they keep pulling you back into that identity. They remind you of the limits you once believed in. They talk to you like you're still unsure of yourself. They expect you to shrink, to stay small, to stay predictable. Sometimes it's because your growth makes them uncomfortable. Sometimes it's because your potential mirrors the dreams they abandoned. Sometimes it's simply because they benefit from you staying exactly where you are, but don't be angry with them. Don't resent them. Just recognize the truth. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into your next chapter. Not everyone is prepared to meet the stronger version of you. And that's okay. Growth often requires distance. Expansion often requires space. If someone is committed to seeing you only through the lens of who you used to be, you don't need to argue with them. You simply need to keep evolving. Then there are the other kind of people, the rare ones, the precious ones, who see strength in you even before you see it in yourself. Their presence feels like sunlight. Their words feel like permission, not permission to stay safe, but permission to rise. They remind you of what you can do. They call you out when you settle. They don't let you hide behind excuses. They don't shrink from your power. Instead, they amplify it. These people are not threatened by your ambition. They're inspired by it. They're not irritated by your discipline. They respect it. They're not afraid of your dreams. They cheer for them. They don't just stand with you when you're strong. They stand with you when you're fragile. They hold you accountable without shaming you. They encourage you without pretending the journey is easy. They support your evolution because they're committed to their own. And that is the kind of environment the stronger version of you needs. Not applause, but alignment. Not validation, but accountability. Not comfort, but challenge. The right people don't let you return to the weaker version of yourself because they've already seen who you can become. They speak to that version. They believe in that version. They invest in that version. But here's the truth. Many people resist. In order to welcome these people, you have to release the ones who diminish you. You have to let go of relationships that no longer support your growth. You have to stop surrounding yourself with people who drain you emotionally, spiritually, mentally. You have to create space in your life for people who match your future, not your past. And that can be painful. Letting go feels like grief, even when you know it's necessary. But pain is not always a sign of loss. Sometimes it's a sign of elevation. When you distance yourself from those who feed your weakness, you start hearing your own strength more clearly. When you step away from negativity, you begin to recognize your own potential. When you lose the voices that confuse you, you start trusting the voice within you. Your environment doesn't just influence your path, it influences your belief about who deserves to walk it. Think about this, a flame grows when the air around it is clean. But in the wrong environment, even fire can suffocate. Your life works the same way. In the right company, your power expands. In the wrong company, your spirit dims. And the goal is not to blame anyone. It's simply to protect the version of you that is rising. You deserve people who speak life into your dreams. But you deserve people who remind you of your strength. You deserve people who celebrate your growth instead of fearing it. But choose them intentionally, but choose them boldly. Choose them without apology, because the stronger version of you cannot be built in a weak environment. And the moment you choose relationships that elevate you, your entire path begins to change. There is a certain kind of pain that leaves you breathless. The kind that makes you question your strength, your direction, your identity. The kind that arrives at the worst moment, stays longer than you wanted, and leaves you carrying fragments of yourself you don't know how to put back together. Every one of us has felt that pain, the heartbreak that splits you open, the failure that crushes your confidence, the disappointment that makes you doubt your own worth. And it's in those moments when you feel stripped down and vulnerable that you start to believe pain is your enemy. But pain is not here to punish you. Pain is here to introduce you to the strongest version of yourself. It took me a long time to understand that the moments that broke me were the same moments that rebuilt me, that the experiences I wished had never happened were the very ones that shaped my courage, my faith, my resilience. Pain forces you to confront things comfort lets you ignore. Pain demands introspection. Pain demands honesty. Pain demands growth. And when you stop running from it, you realize something extraordinary. The places that hurt the most become the places where you grow the most. Think about the people you admire, the ones whose eyes carry depth, whose words carry weight, whose presence carries strength. None of them became that way sitting in comfort. They became that way walking through storms, facing losses, surviving seasons that should have broken them. Their strength did not come from perfection. It came from endurance. It came from rising again and again and again. And the same fire that refined them is refining you. Pain reveals what you're made of. Pain reveals what you've been avoiding. Pain reveals the edges of your potential. And most importantly, pain reveals a power inside you that you never knew you had. When everything is going smoothly, you don't question your beliefs. You don't challenge your habits. You don't confront your old wounds. You just move through life on autopilot. But when something shatters, when something hurts deeply, suddenly you're forced to face yourself. And that is where transformation begins. In the raw, unfiltered, uncomfortable truth of who you are and who you need to become. You may not see it now, but pain is shaping you. It's strengthening your emotional muscles. It's deepening your empathy. It's sharpening your intuition. It's teaching you what truly matters. It's removing what no longer serves you. It's humbling you in the most honest ways. Pain is sculpting you into someone who can carry more, love deeper, lead wiser, and rise higher. I know it doesn't feel like that in the moment. I know pain feels cruel. It feels unfair. It feels unnecessary. But there is a purpose hidden inside every struggle. When you stop asking, why is this happening to me, and start asking, what is this teaching me? Everything shifts. Your pain becomes your mentor instead of your monster. Your wounds become your wisdom instead of your weakness. Your struggles become your story instead of your shame. The weaker version of you collapses under pain. The stronger version of you is created by it. That's why you cannot run from your pain. You must meet it. You must face it with courage. You must allow it to peel away the layers that no longer represent you. Pain is not asking you to break. Pain is asking you to evolve. Pr. And there is something else, something sacred about using your pain as power. It becomes a gift. One day, someone will stand in front of you feeling lost, broken, discouraged, and you will recognize their pain because you once carried it. And in that moment, your strength will become someone else's hope. Your survival will become someone else's blueprint. Your healing will become someone else's reminder that they too can rise. Your pain is not meaningless. Your tears have purpose. Your heartbreak is not a dead end. It is a doorway. You're being reshaped, remade, refined. You may not understand the process right now, but one day you will look back and realize that what felt like breaking was actually building. So instead of asking your pain to leave, ask it what it came to teach you. Ask it what it's preparing you for. Ask it who it's helping you become. Because every moment of hurt is pushing you toward a version of yourself you have not yet met. A version that is stronger, wiser, bolder, and more grounded than ever before. Bar, your pain is not your enemy. Ours how to whisper excuses into your mind. It knows how to convince you that change is too hard, too risky, too uncertain. But the stronger version of you is also inside you, waiting. Waiting for you to choose it, waiting for you to act in alignment with it. Waiting for you to stop betraying yourself with excuses that only protect your limitations. The stronger you doesn't arrive in a grand moment of transformation. It arrives the moment you choose differently, the moment you show up differently, the moment you decide you are done repeating cycles that do nothing but drain your spirit. And choosing who you become is not a one-time declaration. It is a daily decision, sometimes even a moment-by-moment decision. You choose it when you wake up. You choose it when you feel tired. You choose it when you feel discouraged. You choose it when old patterns try to pull you back. You choose it when temptation calls you toward comfort. You choose it when fear tells you to stay small. Not every choice is a vote for the person you are becoming or the person you are leaving behind. Bar. And yes, it's hard. Of course it's hard. Growth asks you to abandon familiar suffering and walk toward unfamiliar victory. It asks you to leave behind parts of your identity you've held for years. It asks you to confront your own reflection and say, I love you, but I cannot stay here. There is more for me. That kind of honesty requires bravery. That kind of evolution requires faith. That kind of transformation requires you to trust the version of yourself that you have not even met yet. But imagine this. Imagine waking up one day realizing you did it. You became the person you once prayed you could be. Imagine looking back and seeing how every small decision, every quiet discipline, every difficult choice, every painful lesson shaped you into someone you admire, someone you trust, someone you respect. Someone whose actions align with their dreams, someone who no longer chooses fear as their default setting. That version of you is not imaginary, it's not out of reach, it's not reserved for the lucky, the gifted, or the chosen. It's available to you, but only if you choose it. Your past doesn't choose for you, but your circumstances don't choose for you. Your mistakes don't choose for you, but your fears don't choose for you unless you let them. Who you become is in your hands, in your decisions, in your willingness to rise. You have the power to recreate yourself at any moment. You have the power to rewrite your story. You have the power to step into the identity that aligns with your highest potential. But you must choose it again and again and again, until it becomes natural, until it becomes instinct, until it becomes you. The weaker version of you will ask for permission. Br. The stronger version of you will take responsibility. The weaker version of you will wait for motiva. The stronger version of you will act with discipline. The weaker version of you will cling to the past. The stronger version of you will build the future. Br. So choose choose with intention. Choose with faith. Choose with courage. Because every sunrise brings the same sacred opportunity, to decide who you will be today and to become it. In the end, remember this, you were never created to live small. You are never designed to break under pressure. You were shaped by a God who builds strength through struggle, purpose through pain, and destiny through discipline. So walk forward with courage. Walk forward with faith. Walk forward knowing that nothing in your life is accidental. Every step, every tear, every battle is preparing you for something greater than you can see. Don't wait for the path to be easy. Don't wait for the fear to disappear, devour. Don't wait for permission to rise, but step boldly, deboss, step faithfully, step with the quiet confidence that the one who created you did not bring you this far to leave you unchanged. Your breakthrough begins with one brave decision. Tatbia, your transformation begins with one disciplined step. Your destiny begins the moment you choose to believe that you were made for more. And if you ever forget this truth, let it echo in your heart. But strength is not something you find. It is something God awakens in you when you decide to rise. Now go.br, go become the person you were born to be. Go create the life that honors your calling. But go step into the greatness that has been waiting for you all along. Because the world needs your light. Atuwar, and heaven is cheering you forward.